did was, on the back of his book, I put my own graphics, and this was about the size and the shape that I had in mind and the approach. But my content was going to be my content, not his. So I put this on my desk in front of me all the time. So at every moment, I was looking at my vision. It couldn't escape me. I could see what I wanted. Interesting. So then I put a milestone chart together. What do I have to do in time to accomplish this book? Now, this isn't the exact milestone. This is kind of a representative approach that I take in executing on my visions. But what it is you start with the dates that you're talking about, March, April, May, etc. And you put a milestone out there as a function of time, and you say, that's when I'm going to complete it. And you back up from this, and you say, what do I have to do? What are all the steps I have to take to make this happen? So and these arrows are like arrows of intensity. It focuses me on my one goal. In my life, if this didn't happen, I never would have had a partnership with Trump and Wiley. So I was really quite interested in it. This is the exact milestone chart I put together. Don't worry about reading it. But these are the dates from February 8th all the way to June 21st. This was today. And this was when they wanted it, the final draft. So it was like 6 or 7 months. That was intensely time demanding to write a whole book in 6 or 7 months. So anyway, I made a decision that what I was going to do is create the entire book draft by draft rather than chapter by chapter sequentially. So all you people that raised your hands in terms of how to think about writing a book, if you do it sequentially, you won't know how it's going to turn out. But if you do it simultaneously, you can always see the book unfolding. So I wrote a first draft. My first draft was right here in a few weeks. And this is what a first draft looked like. It was extremely primitive. I just wrote the table of contents and opened up each chapter and started to think about the whole book, beginning, middle, and end. By the time I was done, the final draft looked like this, or the final manuscript looked like this. And it had gone through six iterations or drafts along the process. And then finally, this was submitted to Trump University. And along the way, every step of the way, these chapters were going back and forth to my editors so that they were giving me this input. Meantime, I had a whole life. I was teaching. I had a full semester of teaching. I had special programs. I had a social life. So my work day was close to 18, 17 hours a day for a very extended period of time. But it was a labor of love. Pretty interesting. Okay, here's where you come in. So remember the dates. On March 6th now, so a couple of months have elapsed, Trump University sends me a contract. All the way up until this point, I had no contract. But I had the commitment, right? So here's what they said they were going to give me in their contract. They wanted the editorial for the book, Entrepreneurship 101. Can you see through me over there? Okay. So they wanted me to be a work for hire. In other words, they were going to pay me a lump sum, $20,000, to write this book for them. No royalties. They wanted 65,000 to 70,000 words. That's a lot of words. They wanted the final manuscript by May 31st. Wow. They wanted to retain the copyright. Trump University would retain the copyright. Whoops. I think this is dying. Okay. They wanted indemnification if for any reason somebody sued them legally for material that was plagiarized. They wanted me to protect them legally. and there would be no compensation for revised editions. Okay? So, you know, life is a matter of finding the balance, isn't it? On one hand, I want this book. On the other hand, I'm thinking about this contract. So here's where you come in. I'd like you to talk to the people next to you or around you and ask yourself, if you're faced with these circumstances, what would you do? Okay? It will take a few minutes. I want you to think about it. Put yourself in my position. And what would you do in this case? Would you accept that contract, Donald Trump and Wiley, etc.? So take a few minutes and talk to your mates right next door. Okay, how many know what you would do? How many, can I see a show of hands? I'm not asking you what you would do. I just want to know how many know what you would do, one way or another. Okay, so mostly everybody knows what you would do. Okay, so even though you discussed this in a group, I want you to vote individually. Search your own entrepreneurial energy and passion and hungriness and all the balance of issues. And I'm going to ask everybody to vote one way or another. I want 100% of this audience voting. Nobody is in the middle. There's only going to be a yes or no. How many of you would accept this contract? Accept it as it is. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Let me just check this out. Can I see your hands? Oh, how many over here are going to accept this contract? And how many would not accept the contract? Okay, so you're willing to throw away two of the most powerful partners in the book writing and entrepreneurship world. The ones that are saying, I reject this contract. Are you sure? Are you sure? I mean, what's a fallback position from this? For me to write a book and have no channels of distribution and no partner? Are you really sure? Let me take a vote again. How many would accept this contract? Wow, I didn't get many more with that dialogue. Okay, so let's see what happened. We're going to live through this whole thing together.